Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in today's video I'm giving you an injury update, and it's not good. Like I said, I'm giving you a little bit of an injury update for the Buccaneers Week 1. Bed's not made. In fact, there's nothing on the bed besides two pillows. I'm washing all the sheets, the covers, and everything. I'm washing everything because I need to. But anyway, in today's video, we're giving a little bit of an injury update. There's a little bit of good and some not so good, and I'm going to be analyzing all of it for you. The first thing that I want to talk about is a little bit of the good. It looks like Donovan Smith is going to be able to play in Week 1, which is wonderful news. He's been participating, if not in a limited capacity, in a more almost full capacity for some of these practices. This was reported by Greg Allman, among others, which is very good because I wanted this offensive line to be as fully healthy as it could be for our running backs, Peyton Barber, Jaquiz Rogers, Ronald Jones. I wanted all of these guys to be able to have a good offensive line blocking for them. I didn't necessarily not trust a Mike Lidkey or a Leonard Wester or whatever, but I wasn't too sure about them to necessarily. So the fact that we'll be able to have Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Ryan Jensen, Caleb Benenoch, and DeMar Dotson all lining up, hopefully. Obviously not a 100%, but they should be up to a, even if they're up to like 85% or 90%, I'll take that because the Saints have a pretty decent defensive line, so I wanted all of our good guys being able to get in there and at least play to some form of capacity. So that'll be good that we'll have our starters, all of our starters being able to play for this game. The second injury thing that I wanted to talk about, this one isn't so good. Brent Grimes, it now looks like that Brent Grimes is pretty much doubtful to be playing in this game versus the New Orleans Saints. I was already a little bit worried about Michael Thomas. Don't get me wrong, I still think we're going to win. But Michael Thomas was definitely one of the guys that I was worried about on this team. I thought, well, Michael Thomas, he'll probably still get some good plays against us. And now we are without our #1 cornerback, which sucks. So in comes Vernon Hargreaves, in comes in Carlton Davis, and in comes in MJ Stewart. I don't necessarily know how they're going to do it. Right now, there's two schools of thought. The first school of thought is that we're just going to put all of our young guys in. Hargreaves is going to be our #1 cornerback. Carlton Davis is going to be the #2 throughout the game. And then whenever the Bucs go to the nickel package, MJ Stewart will slide right into that nickel spot. And that's how we'll do it for our first game. And then you have the other thought process where we'll say, okay, Vernon Hargreaves will be the #1. Ryan Smith will be the #2. And then probably MJ Stewart would still be the nickel. I think in both situations, MJ Stewart would be the nickel, possibly. Or you could, there's a lot of ways you could do it where, you could have Vernon Hargreaves be the #1 in nickel packages. He could go to the nickel, and then you have Carlton Davis and Ryan Smith. Something like that. Me personally, I like the first option where you have Vernon Hargreaves at the 1. You have Carlton Davis at the 2, and then in nickel situations, you'll have MJ Stewart. The reason I like that so much is because you're not making things even more pressurized on Vernon Hargreaves by giving him 2 roles in a game. Especially considering he'd be the #1 cornerback, that'd be kind of hard. And it just helps him out a little bit because he won't have this dual thing where he'll have to play in the nickel in some parts, and he'll have to be the #1 cornerback in other parts. That's going to be very tough considering how you'll be covering Michael Thomas for a good chunk of that game. That's probably going to be on your mind a lot. So to have to go into the nickel in some situations, I don't think that'd be a very good move in my opinion. I also like it because honestly, I just want to see the young guys go out there. I want them to go out there and just start playing. Somebody said on Twitter, like, oh, might as well get the future going now. The future can just be here now. I kind of agree with that. I think it's a very good idea just having Vernon Hargreaves, MJ Stewart, Carlton Davis all out there because they're going to be our starting crew eventually anyway after Brent Grimes retires. So might as well get some of those rookies like MJ Stewart, Carlton Davis, get them a little bit experience to start off. That way they'll have more, get more acclimated quickly into the NFL, into the game play and whatnot, and, just get started on them becoming better NFL cornerbacks. And plus, honestly, it just kind of makes sense to me because in the preseason and training camp and whatnot, Carlton Davis has looked good and MJ Stewart's looked good. And honestly, Ryan Smith, he's looked okay in practices. He hasn't looked like god-awful, but when it comes to game time, he looks god-awful, in my opinion. I know some people might not agree with that, but still, I just haven't been impressed with Ryan Smith in game time, and you know that they're going to pick on him. You know they're going to pick on Ryan Smith because I think out of the 4 cornerbacks that the Bucs have that you could viably start, I think Ryan Smith's the weakest one, so I think that they would target him a lot, and for good reason. You know, he's prone to get lost on some plays, lose some people in coverage and whatnot, and then he gets penalties, and it just doesn't look good. I'll be honest, when I saw the one preseason game where he got blown on a coverage and he got a pass interference call both in the same drive, that was kind of it for me. I've been pretty bleh on Ryan Smith since then. So I feel like if he was to start, they would pick on him. That isn't to say that if Carlton Davis was starting or MJ Stewart was starting on the outside, they would pick on them either. I just think that they would fare a little bit better than Ryan Smith because I just think they have more raw, natural ability. I mean, even whenever you break it down, yes, Ryan Smith has a couple years experience in the league, but he was a fourth round draft pick, whereas MJ Stewart and Carlton Davis were second round draft picks. So in terms of just overall raw ability, you kind of got to give the edge to Carlton Davis and MJ Stewart. All in all, it is going to be pretty interesting. I even said this on Twitter. I said, it's going to be really interesting to see how these young cornerbacks do because we could realistically be looking at our cornerback group next year where Vernon Hargreaves is the number 1, Carlton Davis is the number 2, MJ Stewart's the nickel cornerback. That could realistically be our cornerback room next year. So I'll be very interested to see how these guys shape up in this game. I still think that we have a pretty good chance just because, a pretty good chance. I think we're going to win. It should be interesting, though, considering how young MJ Stewart is, how young Carlton Davis is, and the type of wide receiver and quarterbacks, they're going to be going up against. They're going up against Drew Brees, potentially starting in their very first game. It's going to be a big deal, and it should be a fun game to watch. But let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comment section below. I mean, obviously, there's going to be disappointment for the Brent Grimes injury and whatnot. Like, no, why are you injured? Come on, Brent. But are you guys excited to see Carlton Davis and MJ Stewart get out there? Do you think we still have a good shot of winning? I still think we're going to win, but that's just me. What do you guys think about the whole situation? MJ Stewart and Carlton Davis playing more in this game, Brent Grimes being out, Donovan Smith coming back. What do you think about all that? Vernon Hargreaves being our number 1 cornerback for this game. Let me know all of that down in the comments section below. It'd be greatly appreciated. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about all this, again, down in the comments. And also, hey, the new Spider-Man game came out today, so that's actually been a lot of fun. Go get it if you have a PS4 because it's actually been a lot of fun. I've had a wonderful, wonderful time with it so far. It has not disappointed me yet. So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. And as always, I will see you in the next video, which should be up very soon. So, yeah, as always, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.